What's up guys, it's Matt here, back with another episode of the Spotlight on Mario Kart Tour. And today, of course, we're going to be taking a look at this brand new tour, the Ninja Tour. Alright, so Ninja Tour 2023, we've got some new items, we're going to take a look at those. We're going to take a look at items that are gaining value in the Tickettime ranking, and we're also going to take a look at the top 10 in Tickettime as well, as look at some other bits and pieces. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. First up, as always, we love to look at the items that are in the Spotlight shop. So I'm going to jump over to Discord here, and as always in the Discord, if you go ahead and take a look in the data mining channel, you will see the items, and a massive shout out to a turtle dude for sharing here the items which are showing up in the Spotlight. Alright, so let's take a quick look. So nice to see Pinger in there, of course. He's had a buff this tour as well. Might be the end of his value. It's been a year since he came out, but really nice to see him. We see a lot of older drivers here, but of course Toad Astronaut, very pretty strong driver. He's taken a tour off from the buffs this tour, but really strong there. Of course, Gold Chuck still in the gold items as well as some other drivers. Moving on to the karts, we have Armored Rider's good to see in there. We've got the Secura Hot Rod. Got the Red Off-Roader, which is looking really strong with some more buffs this tour as well. Really nice to see that. Nice to see the Blooper Shuttle in there. That might be the first time that's been in there, as well as both the Swift Talon and the Blazing Eagle back again. The Blazing Eagle getting such strong buffs, and we'll be taking a look at that one as well as we go through. Cact B, nice to see that with a buff, but not crazy value this tour. And of course, we mostly ignore the gold carts down here, so we don't really talk about those. Moving on to the gliders, we've got Boo Masks there, will show up a lot this tour. We've got the yellow hard hat balloon, that's really good. A glider looking better and better every tour. Nice to see the cream toe beam balloons. That's the #1 glider I need for my account, so I'm still considering whether I pick that up one or not. It didn't appear last tour, even using some quick tickets, so if it appears this tour, I'll probably pick that up there. What else is good? Lots of good items, so make sure as always to be checking your coverage. We don't have time in this video to cover every single one of these items, but let's go ahead and start taking a look at some items now. Firstly, looking at the ones from Flo's winners and losers of the tour. Every time when we look at Tickettime, we like to look at what are the items that won out the most and what are the ones that didn't. So when we look at that, firstly, we've got in the drivers, the Gold Me Racing Suit, double ranked appearance, 9 in ACR, collecting new buffs as well. Yet another great tour for the Gold Me. So really good. I still don't even have this on my free-to-play account, but I've seen even people still investing, starting to invest into the Gold Me recently. So really good. It shows you the value of this item. So Gold Me. Then we've got PD Piranha Racing Suit. It climbed up to #2 in the rankings, which is pretty crazy thanks to 2 buffs, which is above average for Mii's, once again with one of the new tracks like last tour, and additionally a nice boosted appearance on Ninja Hideaway. So PD Piranha Racing Suit seems to be one of the best Mii racing suits that we've got, which is very nice to see. Then we've got Luigi Knight. Unfortunately, he's really on a bad streak. Again, no buff, and this time not even in ranked. Bit lame to see that. Then we've got Toad Astronaut. He took a tour off. The Remix Ghost Valley 1R is his only buff. Not bad, but this tour is irrelevant for most people since Gold Me is boosted to the top shelf. So might not be a tour to invest into Toad Astronaut, though. Of course, if you've been investing into him so far, then you'll be enjoying the buffs that he's got and the appearances he's got this tour. Moving on to the karts, Blazing Eagle, second tour in a row, collecting not only 1 but 2 buffs on the brand new tracks, and of course it's in ranked as well. Already at 33 tracks at level 6. I could even imagine that it hits the mark of 40 or at least overtakes Jukebox Buggy, which is at 37 at level 6. This is a really good point. It just shows that items that get that buffing value, they just get a lot more value. So it's worth looking at the Blazing Eagle if you haven't already. I know I've started investing into it on my free-to-play account, and I will take it to an even higher level most likely this tour. And I'll keep investing into it until it stops collecting buffs, and then I'll move on to the next one. That will be my approach with that account. Then we've got Blue Crawley Kart, 4 buffs, all with debatable value, but in total enough for another big jump into the top 10. Really cool to see this one getting some great value pretty early on. Blue Crawley, I did buy it on my main account, but it hasn't had the buffs I've kind of needed yet, so we'll have to see where it lands for that account, but yeah, definitely worth taking a look at for your own account. Then we've got the Hot Pot Hot Rod. It used to be doing really well, but unfortunately it's not had very good development, in particular this tour. It got 2 buffs on old tracks, which is simply not enough. And Rainbow Taxi doesn't fit the theme of Dry Ruins, of course, but at some point it needs some buffs on new tracks to stay interesting. So it's far behind the Blooper Shuttle for now. Alright, then we've got the gliders. We've got the 8-bit Goomba, strongest start among the 8-bit gliders, and now the strongest buffs as well. 2 on the new tracks, 2 more as well, and a good start. Then we've got Yellow Hard Hat Balloon, second tour in a row with 2 buffs on the new tracks, again accompanied by a 3rd buff, very close to the top 10 already, which are usually dominated by older gliders. This is really good to see. Then we've got the Silver Luigi's Moustache, similar to the Knight. Nintendo just ignores this glider in the last few tours. And the Stealth Glider, only 2 buffs on old tracks, tends to become a mediocre item. So it's important to notice, guys, we've had hundreds of buffs this tour, in fact over 300 buffs. So it's really important that these items do get buffed, and unfortunately some are just going to be left behind. So let's go ahead, take a look, and next up we're going to dive into some of the Tickettime rankings to see items in particular that have really improved a lot. So let's go ahead and dive in and take a look firstly at the new items, the new drivers. First of all, we've got the Pokey Racing Suit, which starts out with 6 retro courses and 1 nitro. It got Daisy Hills R, Daisy Hills T, Remix Ghost Valley 1T, Dry Ruins T, and Remix Ghost Valley 1 RT. So it's 97 on the Tickettime rankings, not really that interesting. It has 3 overlaps with Builder Toadette. Yeah, not that interesting, this tour. Looking at the overlaps it has with items of 2 or more, then it still doesn't have that much overlap. But I think the most important thing is it's just not really clear whether or not it will have great value in the long term. And of course those 2 overlaps with both Daisy Tidress and Gold Me Racing Suit are of interest. Then it has the 2 with Daisy Holiday Chair as well. So that's the Pokemon Racing Suit. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Orange Shy Guy. Alright, so Orange Shy Guy starts out with 5 retro courses and 1 nitro course, and it's number 163 in the Tickettime rankings. It got Daisy Hills T, Shy Guy Bazaar T, Remix Ghost Valley 1R, Wii Rainbow Road R, Koopa Troopa Beach RT, and Ninja Hideaway T. When we look at its overlaps, there's only 2 with any notable driver. We do have 2 with Peach Vacation, 2 with Daisy Holiday Chair, and 2 with Toad Astronaut there. So it's a super, right? So unless you need it for ranked, there isn't much point in investing, and you can see that Remix Ghost Valley 1R, you've probably already got that covered, so you may not need it for ranked. That's the new drivers. Let's move on to the cards. Alright, so the Gold Hop Rod starts out at the lowest place in the Tickettime rankings for the new items, at 171st place. It's got 7 retros and 2 nitros there, and you can see the theme is quite clear that it's only old courses, apart from that Wii Rainbow Road RT at level 8. Really not that interesting. Yeah, I would say give this one a miss, and we won't even bother looking at its overlaps because it's probably not that interesting based on those older courses. Next up, we've got the Taiko Drum Dasher, a very cool kart which looks like it has a pretty decent hitbox, which we're still not clear on the measurements for that yet, but stay tuned to the Discord for that. It starts out at 121st place on the Tickettime rankings with 8 retro courses and 2 nitros. It got Shy Guy Bazaar T, Remix Ghost Valley 1T, Wii Dry Ruins T, Wii Rainbow Road and Rainbow Road R, Daisy Hills RT, Shy Guy Bazaar RT, Dry Ruins RT, Ninja Hideaway and Ninja Hideaway RT. So a little bit more interesting there. You can see big hitbox, mini turbo, few more retro courses, and lots of those new Dry Ruins courses, which is great. It has 3 overlaps with the Blooper Shuttle, 3 with the Sakura Sports Coupe, and then nothing else too notable. So from a starting coverage perspective and overlaps, this is really great to see. Now there are 2 with the Lightning Streamliner, Swift Talon, Blazing Eagle. Some of these are more meta karts, so they might be a little bit more interesting, but really 2 overlaps for a start isn't much of a concern. Or a consideration, unless you have those items at a very high level, or multiple of those items as well. So it's a really good start. I would highly recommend people look to pick this one up. Even if you're not investing, it could be a great card in the future with that unique theme and large hitbox, and yeah, it could be a really meta card. If we think back to the Armored Rider and the Sakura Hop Rod, ones like this that came out around this time last year, they did really well, so I would highly recommend people pick this one up. Alright, so moving on to an alternate version to the Taiko Drum Dasher. If you love pink and you like this sports coupe, you don't mind a slightly smaller hitbox, things like that, we've got the Sakura Sports Coupe. It actually starts out at 91 in the Tickettime rankings, which is the highest of the new carts. It got 8 retro courses and 2 nitro courses. It got Shy Guy Bazaar R, Battle Course 1, which is great to see, Dry Ruins T, Wee Rainbow Road T, Daisy Hills RT, Shy Guy Bazaar RT, Remix Ghost Valley 1 RT, and Wee Rainbow Road RT. So based on this, I would say if you're choosing between these two carts and which one to pick up, I would probably base it on which ones of these courses you've already got covered versus the Taiko Drum Dasher. And also taking a look at some of the overlaps here, we do have 3 with the Crawley cart, we've got 3 with the Warrior Wagon. Looking further down the list here, nothing too interesting. 2 with the Cact B there might be notable, but nothing too concerning apart from some of these ones. It might tend to get a bit more overlap with some of these items here, like the Warrior Wagon, but time will tell, we will see. For me, I would probably go with the Taiko Drum Dasher still, but this is a good alternative if you don't mind a smaller hitbox and you love pink. Alright, so apparently we just love new gold items, so we've got another one, which is the Gold Boo Masks. It starts out at number 120 in the Tickettime rankings, which is nothing really interesting or inspiring. It starts out with 7 retro courses and 2 nitros, and it got Wario Shipyard and Wario Shipyard R, Waluigi Pinball, Ghost Valley 1 RT and 1T, Waluigi Pinball RT, Dry Ruins RT as the level 8 unlock, and then 2 Ninja Hideaways. So you can see from that, you probably don't need coverage on any of these courses, and even if you did, they're probably not going to return all that much unless you're taking it all the way to level 8, which I highly advise against. I would just collect this one, guys. Just let it sit at level 1 and collect dust on your account, and it will be just great. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the items which are jumping up in the rankings and improving the most. And first up, we've got the Yellow Me racing suit, which jumped up 7 places in the driver rankings, which is really good to see, up to number 15, which is really nice. In the top 15 they're really good. It does only have 12 retro courses and 11 nitro courses, so don't get too excited if you're thinking about investing into this to ranked. You will be replacing some other maybe high level items you have with the Me suit, with Giant Banana, which, you know, it's not always the best on every course. So this is interesting. It's only got 46 courses left to see from all the retros, so it's not going to, you know, cap out very high in the rankings or in the coverage from that aspect. But it did get Dry Ruins, which is a ranked buff. And I love Giant Banana, and I was really excited for a Me racing suit with Giant Banana, but I think this is a bit of a scam when you see that it's got nothing good really going for it at all. It's got a lot of overlap with plus skills, and then it gets one course getting this exclusive ranked buff, which is looking really great for people who've invested. But that's super frustrating because I don't think it's very, you know, it's kind of manipulative of the community, saying, okay, you haven't invested in this driver, we'll chuck it on this top shelf to force you to use it and take away all your other options. So for someone like me, I've been spending tickets on lots of different items, but because I didn't invest into this one, because it didn't have good value, now they're starting to buff it. So I don't know about you, but I find that super frustrating, and you know, vote with your tickets. If you don't like that kind of behavior from the developers and what they're trying to do with try to get us to spend tickets, then guess what? Just don't invest. That's my recommendation. Just don't invest. Just tear down. Be okay with that. Save your tickets and spend them on something that's got great value for your account. So, while that said, there is some good coverage within the Yellow Me racing suits courses that it does have. You can see it's got, you know, some really great ones, like it's got the Shroom Ridge T, Riverside Park T. Bearing in mind those are short courses, which isn't great for Giant Banana. Then it's also got this new Dry Ruins, and it also has Rainbow Road RT as well. So all well and good, but you will see these overlaps. So we've got 3 with Daisy Tidress, we've got 2 with PD Piranha Gold, we've got 2 with Yoshi Gold Egg. What else is there? Yeah, this is super frustrating. 3 with Yellow Pit Crew Toad. So Yellow Toad Pit Crew is one that a lot of people will have at level 8, like me, quad capped, because it's great value. You know, you invest your super tickets, you get that course covered, you moved on. So to have to revisit that course to cover it with a me, to get the extra base point, I think is a little bit of a slap in the face, and the reason why I won't be investing in the yellow me. So let me know in the comments down below if you agree, disagree, what your view is. I totally get that people are going full on into the me meta, but for those who have invested in this one, I actually feel really sorry for you because yeah, it just hasn't had the coverage that it really deserves, and I really wanted this item to be good, but let's be honest, it just hasn't been. Alright, let's take a look at one more interesting driver before we move closer into the top 15, which is the Rocky Wrench Me racing suit, which jumped up to number 18, so a nice big move there, 5 places. And it got Wee Dry Ruins R, which is a good ACR buff there. It also got Ninja Hideaway RT, which is also a ranked buff. So this might be one that people are investing in. I really don't know if people out there are investing into it, but just taking a look at its coverage for a moment, we do have 16 retros and 6 nitro courses. It still has 64 courses left to see, so still a little bit to go there. You can see though the sacrifice that you're making by investing here. Firstly, Hammer Bro Me Racing Suit, a lot of similar buffs there with the same hammer skill. And then you can see, like I say, the sacrifice that you're making is that it's gonna overlap with Pink Shy Guy Ninja 4 times, Daisy Tidress 3 times, Bowser Santa 3 times, Charging Chuck Gold 3 times, Petey Piranha Gold, Dry Bones, Yoshi Gold Egg, and King Bob-omb Gold. So that's a huge amount of coin box overlap, and if you love playing coin box like most of us in this game, you're probably not going to want to replace that coverage and have to use this Rocky Wrench Me racing suit instead. So yeah, again, it becomes really hard to invest into the me meta. It makes sense to invest in ones that don't overlap a lot with the coin box. So even though it's getting some good value, I'm still super hesitant on this one unless this is the one that you really need for that ranked track, you're fully invested into the me meta and you've got tickets to burn. In that case, Rocky Wrench may make sense for you. Alright, let's take a look at how the Rainbow Pipe Buggy has evolved and developed since last tour. So it had a nice start and it's at number 80 on the Tickettime rankings, jumping up a massive 24 places. With still 200 courses to see, this thing could get some really good value. It has 13 retro courses and no nitros, so it managed to completely avoid these Ninja Hideaway buffs. And it got 4 buffs this tour: Waluigi Pinball T, Ghost Valley 1R, Wii Rainbow Road RT, and Wario Shipyard RT. So probably the most interesting buff there is going to be that Wii Rainbow Road RT. Not the greatest set of buffs, but of course getting 4 buffs is very good, and it looks like it could have some really great value in the future in terms of raw coverage. But you know, time will tell. If it's not getting the right buffs, then it might still not be useful for your account. And then looking at its overlaps there, you can see 4 with the B-Dasher Mark II, and then a bunch with 3 there as well. But nothing too crazy that stands out as a very meta cart past the B-Dasher Mark II. Okay, so I was keen to take a look at the Camo Tanuki cart because this has been one that's definitely been off the radar for most people. Let's take a look and see where it's sitting. So it's now jumped up a massive 18 places in the Tickettime rankings to number 16, which is really good. It's got 46 courses left to see, so it's actually seen a lot of courses now already, which means that it probably isn't going to get a crazy amount more value. But looking at the courses it got this tour, it got Dry Ruins T, which is a ranked week 2 appearance, and then it got Koopa Troopa Beach RT. Nothing too crazy. Oh yes, it also got Daisy Hills T. So again, like I say, nothing too crazy, but yeah, 23 courses is very nice to see. It could really follow in the footsteps of the original Tanuki cart and get a lot of buffs. So really it comes down to whether you've already got a lot of carts it overlaps with already leveled up. If not, this could be a really good one. I know for me, the overlaps with the Cact B, it's got 5 there, is a bit of a problem. And then it also has 5 with the Rainbow Taxi if you invested there, 5 with the Dozer Dasher, some of the older courses, and then 6 with the Streetle, 4 with the Tropical Truck, 4 with the Ramby Runner. And I think between the Ramby Runner and the Cact B for me, there was just too much overlap to get invested early, as well as the Moo Moo Off-Roader where it came out in the same tour. So for me, it hasn't really being on that cutting edge or having that, you know, that core coverage optimization element to it. So for me, it's not the right one. But if you're not invested in some of these ones I just mentioned, like the Rambi Runner, the Caxby, maybe the Red Off-Roader or the Moo Off-Roader, if you're not invested there, this one could make sense for you. Alright, another one we haven't checked in for a while is the Red Vampire Flyer, and it did actually get 3 buffs this tour, so it did jump up quite a significant amount of places, about 18 places, to number 15 in the Tickettime rankings. This thing only has 34 courses left to see, and it's got 19 retro tracks and it has 5 nitro as well. This tour it got Shy Guy Bazaar R, We Dry Ruins R, and then Remix Ghost Valley 1 RT. So none of those are in ranked, and that makes it definitely a challenging one to consider. You're probably not going to be looking to invest into this tour, and probably you shouldn't invest in it unless it really provides a great niche on your account, which is probably not that likely at this point. The Red Vampire Flyer, they're determined to really only give it average buffs after it started really hot out of the gate, getting 2 DK Mountains, getting Riverside Park, getting Boo Lake R, getting Twilight House. It started so well, but then ever since it's really had a lot of average value. Next up, we've got the 8-bit Goomba, which only came out last tour, and wow, it's come out hot out of the gate, jumping up 28 places to number 29 in the Tickettime rankings, with 200 courses left to see, already 14 retro courses. Guys, this is one to watch. If you are gonna go crazy and gamble this tour, chuck all your tickets into a glider, do the 8-bit Goomba. Pick that one and just go hard into it. This one is gonna be phenomenal, I'm telling you now. I'm willing to put my neck out and say that because it's an 8-bit glider and these things have just been absolutely insane. So let's go ahead and take a look at its courses and what it got this tour. So it got 4 buffs, Koopa Troopa Beach R, Remix Ghost Valley 1 R, which is in ranked, We Dry Ruins R, and then We Dry Ruins RT. So firstly, 2 of the new Dry Ruins courses is fantastic to see, and it did avoid a ranked buff. This is an interesting thing that can sometimes happen with some of these great gliders. They get really great value, but not in ranked initially. However, when Dry Ruins comes back, it is very likely that the RT or R variant will be in ranked and you will have that covered. So you want to think about your coverage into the future, and this one is already some great value there. As well as the Ghost Valley 1R is in ranked this week, though maybe not quite as hard to cover. And then we've got Koopa Troopa Beach R. So let's look at its overlaps, because at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing for gliders. Is it going to have heaps of overlap with other items you've already leveled up, or is it going to maintain its unique coverage in a way that's better than some of the other items? So this most retro tracks overlap list looks absolutely beautiful to me. When I look down that list, there are very few items on there that I have at a very high level. So what stands out to me is the 8-bit Fireflower, the 8-bit Jumping Mario. Of course, we had a lot of those Mario circuits. It's a bit of an anomaly there. But of course, if you think about, if I was to invest into this to say, I don't know, level 7 and triple cap it, it's already going to beat out a quad capped level 8 super glider. So even though I've got those courses covered, this glider would steal those courses as soon as you triple cap it, because it's just got so much more base points when you triple cap something. The other thing you'll notice that stands out a lot in this list is the, obviously we've got this pink magnifying glass and Tanuki parafoil, 2 gliders I never invested in. Maybe you did, and all power to you, but for me, I didn't. You will see though, we've got 4 overlaps with this 8-bit block glider. You'll see 3 overlaps with the gold 8-bit glider. And then also, of course, I mentioned the 8-bit Fireflower, 8-bit Jumping Mario, 8-bit Star is there too, 8-bit Super Glider is there too. So a lot of 8-bit overlap there, but if you look at that, what you see is there's very little with the 8-bit 1-up Mushroom, which is really important to me because I've got that thing at level 8 and quad capped on both of my on my main account, level 6 and quad capped on my free-to-play account. So really good to see this, but If you were thinking that the 8-bit block glider, the gold 8-bit glider, and the 8-bit super glider were going to be useful alongside this, you might be a little disappointed. So we need to keep a look at that, but for now the 8-bit Goomba is definitely looking like one to watch and one to invest in early. So keep a watch. I would say maybe wait 1 or 2 more tours unless you really need it for ranked, and then start investing into this, maybe to like a level 6 and double cap if you're a gold pass player, to see to get the value out of it early when it gets lots of buffs. And hey, this thing will have a long buff streak if it operates in the same way that other 8-bit gliders have. Next up, the yellow hard hat balloon jumps up 23 places to number 13 in the Tickettime rankings, already knocking on the door of the top 10 with still 93 courses to see. It has 21 retro courses and 6 nitros. This thing is looking pretty great, really good. And you look at the quality of the buffs this tour. It got Dry Ruins R, Dry Ruins T, 1 an ACR appearance, 1 a ranked appearance in week 2, and it got Wario Shipyard RT as well, which, you know, not crazy buff, but hey, it got another course. So 3 buffs, very good. This thing is really getting that quality buffs that other items just aren't right now. Really nice to see. Now it has 5 overlaps with the Silver Candlelight Flight now, it has 5 with the Rainbow Fair Flyer, and 5 with the Fuzzy Kite. And then a bunch with 4 there, including the Gold Hard Hat Balloon, 8-bit Block Glider. Yeah, I'm not going to read them all off, but you can kind of see the overlaps there. This one's looking really good. It just has a great set of coverage, some really cool courses that it covers that are often hard to cover. So yellow hard hat balloon, it's going to be in the spotlight shop this tour, so keep an eye out and check your own rankings to see where it sits. Alright, and the last glider we're going to take a look at here is the gold hard hat balloon. We've kind of been ignoring it and pretending it doesn't exist, but of course it did come out in a paid banner, so we do expect some value from it, and those high expectations sometimes leave us disappointed. But looking at what it did get this tour and where it's at, it actually did jump up 17 places to number 42 in the Tickettime rankings, so it seems to be having a little bit of a comeback. If that continues, this one could end up okay. So it has 22 retro courses and 4 nitros with 93 courses left to see. That number is dwindling a little bit, but yeah, it's got 22 courses, so it's really not that bad. The issue is really the overlaps. And looking at its coverage, it got Waluigi Pinball T, Dry Ruins T, which is ranked week 2, Wii Dry Ruins RT, which is an ACR buff there too. So that's all really nice and good. Some good buffs this tour. However, those 6 overlaps of the Golden Wings have really knocked its value back quite substantially, as well as some of the other meta items there. Ones like the Wicked Topaz, yellow hard hat balloon, some of these great gliders, 8-bit super mushroom, all sorts of overlaps there. The killer one for me really is those golden wings, and this one, it needs to recover and do much better with its buffs if it's gonna compete with the likes of the golden wings when it was strong. Alright guys, that's it for the deep dive on these items which are gaining value. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Tickettime rankings. And we will deep dive on a couple of these items, ones that are really interesting, as we go through. But first up, we've got the Nabbit Me Racing Suit, dropping down 2 places to number 10. It has 33 courses there, including nitros. Then we've got the Petey Piranha Gold. He has increased up 2 places to number 9 in the top 10 there with 31 courses. Then we've got Luigi Knight dropping down 2 places. He's been dropping off the last couple tours. He is number 8 right now, and he still has 35 courses. But yeah, he needs to keep gaining value if he wants to stay in the top 10. Next up, we've got Petey Piranha, the OG Petey Piranha, holding steady at number 7 with his 38 courses. Very nice to see, but of course, the Petey Piranha Me Racing Suit seems to be pulling away. Then we've got Mario King, up 3 places to number 6 with 34 courses. We've got Charging Chuck Gold, down 3 places to number 5 with 38 courses. Still really good coverage there with Charging Chuck Gold. I know he's the number 1 driver I need to upgrade in my Tickettime rankings. Then we've got the Question Mark Block Me Racing Suit. It is number 4, holding steady there with 33 courses. We've got Daisy Tie Dress, holding steady with her insane 43 courses in 3rd place wow, just incredible the numbers there. Then we've got Petey Piranha Me Racing Suit jumping up 3 places with its 28 courses, getting some nice buffs this tour. Really interesting driver in second place. And then of course we've got the Gold Me Racing Suit as our number 1 driver in the game. So let's go ahead and take a look. I want to look at the Petey Piranha Me Racing Suit. The Me game is becoming more and more interesting the longer we go, because it's just absolutely insane, those extra base point. So let's go ahead and take a look at Petey Piranha. I know I've got him at level 4 and single capped. I'm considering taking him higher, but I'm not a huge Boomerang fan, which has really been the reason for holding me back. But this is quickly becoming my top upgrade as well. It is number 2 there. It only has 8 courses left to see, which is really nothing left. But it got Dry Ruins R and Ninja Hideaway T this tour, which if you're using this at a high level, you're using it over all of the other options. And looking at its overlap, it does have quite a bit of overlap with some plus skills. You can see a lot of coin box overlap there, some lucky 7 overlap, and of course in these cases you will be using Petey Piranha Me Racing Suit for his 21 courses, plus any nitros that do return too. Alright, moving on to the top 10 karts in the game. We've got the Strawberry Soft Swerve dropping down 2 places to number 10. It still has 32 courses, so some great coverage there. It just hasn't been getting the buffs as much. Then we've got the Blue Crawly kart, which has jumped up an insane 12 places to number 9. We'll go have a look at that one because it's quite interesting to see how it's developing. It has 18 courses there already, which is really great for such a young kart in the game. Then we've got Flowery Bandwagon jumping up 8 places to number 8 with 34 courses that it covers. We've got the Lightning Streamliner dropping down 1 place to number 7 with 34 courses. And then we've got the Pink Speeder jumping up 4 places to number 6 with 29 courses. Red Off-Roader holds steady at number 5 and it has 32 courses there. We've got the Shielded Speedster dropping down 1 place to number 4 with 33 courses. The Moo Moo Off-Roader dropping down 1 place to number 3 with 28 courses. But disappointing to see it didn't get a interesting buff on Dry Ruins there. Then we've got the Blazing Eagle jumping up 2 places to number 2, such a strong kart right now. And then we've got the Streetle still holding steady, but could be the last tour that the Streetle holds steady if it doesn't really up its game compared to some of these moving items. So let's go ahead and first take a look at the Blue Crawly kart and see what's happening there. Alright, taking a look at the Blue Crawly kart, it is number 9 in the Tickettime rankings with a huge jump there. 133 courses left to see, guys, but it already has 15 retro courses and 4 nitros there. Remembering that those 4 nitros are all Piranha Plant Coves, which is fantastic to cover those courses when they do return. We've got Wario Shipyard R, Koopa Troopa Beach T, and Remix Ghost Valley 1R. Little disappointing to see none of these Dry Ruins buffs this tour. Maybe they decided it didn't fit the theme, but regardless, it's doing really well. I think the one caveat might be this tour, unless you need it for Remix Ghost Valley 1R, you probably aren't going to be upgrading it this tour. Looking at its overlaps, 5 with the Streetle, 4 with the Shielded Speedster, the Tropical Truck, Vampire Flyer, 3 with the Armored Rider, 3 with the Dark Hop Rod. We've got 3 with the Moo Moo Off-Roader. Yeah, so there are some overlaps there, but nothing too crazy. I know I don't quite need it yet because I've got good karts on most of its courses, but I'll keep an eye on this one here, and it's certainly one that I'm keen to upgrade in the future personally. Alright, one we haven't looked at in a wee while is the Flowery Bandwagon, which did jump up 8 places to number 8 in the Tickettime rankings. And yes, its special number must be 8 because it only has 8 courses left to see, which is the concerning part there. But it did get Koopa Troopa Beach and Wee Dry Ruins T. So the remaining buffs you don't really care too much if it continues to get some new buffs. This one has 25 retros and 10 nitros, so 35 is pretty insane. Really nice kart, nice wide hitbox, even though it's not a giant one. It's pretty nice. Then it's got 6 overlaps with the Tuk Tuk kart, 6 with the Coral Jet Cruiser, 6 with the Goo Goo Black, and then 5 with a bunch here, including the Tropical Truck has to be mentioned, the White Bruiser, Camo Tanuki's got 4 there. Nothing too crazy really. You can see where it fills a nice niche on a lot of accounts there. The Flowery Bandwagon has done pretty well for itself. Next up, we've got the Pink Speeder, which picked up Dry Ruins, which is a ranked week 1 buff. Really nice to see for this one, and it has jumped up. It's number 6 in the Tickettime rankings. It hasn't got as much love as the Moo Moo Off-Roader, where those overlap quite a bit. It also overlaps 5 times with the Red Off-Roader, so yeah, it hasn't had as much love on debut, but it's actually looking pretty good, and it still has 64 courses to see. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at one more kart, and it is the Blazing Eagle. This thing has just been absolutely insane with the buffs that it's been getting. It's got a lot of Nitro courses, but it's also got a lot of Retro courses too, which shows that when Nintendo decide that an item is great, they love it, and they just want to buff it, that's what they do, and they continue on, and it doesn't matter if it's Nitro or Retro, it's going to get a lot of use in Ranked, and it's going to show up a lot. And I think this is the number one item showing up in Frenzy Fans MVIs, where they look at the most valuable items for Ranked, the ones that appear the most. The Blazing Eagle right now has got some of the best Ranked appearances for a kart. Okay, so it's got it's in a second place in the Tickettime rankings with 46 courses left to see. It has 18 Retros and 16 Nitros, and this tour, of course, it picked up some great buffs. Dry Ruins and Dry Ruins RT. Dry Ruins being a ranked week 1 buff, which is very nice there. Looking at the overlaps, nothing too crazy. 4 with the Red Off-Roader, 4 with the Flaming Speeder, and the Gold Bullet Blaster might be of issue. But other than that, really nothing too crazy. We got 3 with the Cact Bee, 2 with the Moo Moo Off-Roader, 2 with the Shielded Speedster. So yeah, it's got overlaps, but if this is the one kart you take up to a high level right now, you're going to get some great value out of that long term. Alrighty, and we've got the top 10 gliders in the game. Starting out with number 10, we've got the Chocolate Pretzel, jumping up 3 places to number 10. And I think that might be the first time the Chocolate Pretzel's been in the top 10, one that's not on a lot of people's radar. Then we've got the Boomass, dropping down 2 places to number 9, still a great glider with its 34 courses. The Fuzzy Kite comes up 3 places, first time in the top 10 as well. At number 8 with 24 courses already, very nice. The Fiery Manta Glider is there, with jumping up 1 place to number 7 and 35 courses there. The Pink Magnifying Glass drops down 4 places, unfortunately, to number 6. With 37 courses though, it still has a lot of coverage. Then we've got the 8-bit One Up Mushroom, jumping up 1 place again. It's a strong glider, and it got another buff this tour, which is that's the amazing and magical thing about the 8-bit items. They tend to just get that buffing favor. Really happy to see that as an investor there. And then we've got the Piranha Plant Balloons, still neck and neck, being a 1A and a 1B. Piranha Plant Balloons with 38 courses there in 4th place, actually ahead of the 8-bit One Up Mushroom. We've got the Tropical Balloons, also a great glider, which is up 1 place to number 3 with 36 courses. The Green Cat Parafoil, very much an underdog, but a great item, and one that Flo just started investing in, jumping up 1 place to number 2. And then the number 1 glider in the game still is Mario's Hat Balloon, which these ones do have a lot of overlap. You're probably not going to be invested in all of these items in the top 10 here. You're probably going to be only invested in 1 or 2, and that's okay. That's the way it kind of should be. So, looking at this, let's go ahead and take a look at the Chocolate Pretzel. Alright, so this one's been out for a wee while now. This tour, it got Daisy Hills R and Shy Guy Bazaar. Not really that interesting, but it did get 2 buffs, so that's nice to see. And it does sit at number 10th place. Alright, and our last glider that we're going to take a look at today is the Fuzzy Kite, which is up 3 places into the top 10 at number 8 with 20 Retro courses and 5 Nitro courses. It has 93 courses left to see, which is really nice. And then it got Shy Guy Bazaar, Dry Ruins T. So two solid buffs there, especially that Dry Ruins T being ranked week 2. Really nice option there. It has 7 overlaps with that Chocolate Pretzel we just looked at, so you kind of need to treat these as alternative options. And it also has that 5 overlaps with the Yellow Hard Hat Balloon and 5 with the Gold Hard Hat Balloon. So if you invested there from the same tour, you're probably not going to be invested into the same glider. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this episode. Make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel. We are getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and I hope you found this content informative and interesting. Please let me know in the comments down below if you've got any feedback, whether you would love to see anything different. These videos, of course, are difficult to make with camera and with the sheer amount of content we're looking through and the amount of editing that needs to go on. So I try to make them as straightforward and simple as possible so that you can digest the information. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below how you listen to these episodes. Do you listen to this in the car with your AirPods in, your phone screen off, or do you chuck this on your TV, or do you play this to your kids and your pets? I don't know, but let me know. I would love to know how you're finding this type of content and whether you think this content is super useful to you and what you'd love to see more of and any other changes you'd like to see. So let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like if you liked it, sub if you loved it, stay tuned to the channel for heaps more to come, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.